If you're into the whole building out your home battery backup and you're collecting different batteries, maybe all at once, maybe you're adding them as you go like I am, I have to just kind of wonder, like, what really makes a good battery and how do you test that? Like, for example, this is a Chin's battery. Now, this has a 2,560 watt hour capacity. It's a 24 volt system, but it runs at 25.6 volts, 100 amp hours. Overall, pretty good battery. One thing I notice about a lot of these different batteries is that a lot of them look the same. And that is not necessarily a bad thing. Some people might say it is a bad thing because they want battery producers to kind of come out with their own designs. But I look at it a little bit different. Like, for example, do I want an untested, unproven design to be implemented into my entire system that maybe has some flaws that could catch on fire? I have more than a few different batteries that use this kind of simple overall basic design, and it's made me realize that I like the idea of a proven design rolled out through different companies that I know works, and it just makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. Chin's so far has proven to be pretty good, just overall. I mean, this dang thing has a name, address, producer. I think they just smashed the keyboard, but I don't know anything about, you know, the language. But look at this, China Guangzhou. I'm not even gonna try it because I'm gonna butcher it and it's gonna come off as rude or, you know, insensitive, whatever. Look at all that. Can't touch that. And I'm presented with an even more complicated thing because if you watch some of these battery things online, like for example, Home DIY Solar with Will, whatever his name is, this dude literally takes a Sawzall and just cuts these things apart, right? Oscillating tool, he just cuts them apart. I am definitely not in the business of cutting this thing apart because I like to build out my system and I want nice, reliable batteries to slowly build out my home battery backup system. So if you're looking for a complete teardown to see exactly what's inside, Will Prowse, look him up. This dude tears the crap out of these things. What I do know is a few different things, and let me read those off to you real quick. First of all, 100 amp hours. That means this thing can put out 100 amps for an hour. And it is actually rated for 100 amps. Even though it says it can go up to 300 amps for about 10 seconds, it's rated at 100 amps. It can charge. It recommends about 30 amps, but it can charge up to 50 amps. And I want to say that I actually put this to a test. I hooked this up to my 6,000 watt inverter. I pushed it to its limits. I made it go over 100 amps and for a little bit until the BMS internally shut it down to protect it, which means that not only can it handle exactly what it's supposed to, but the internal BMS was built good enough in order to protect it from overheating, starting on fire, at least from the test that I was able to run. On top of that, when it comes to charging, it usually gets about 40-50 amps charging, and then it will actually, again, BMS will kick in, knock down that charging and protect the battery from overheating and starting a fire and killing everybody in your house. Now, according to the website, Chin's comes with a 5-year warranty that provides service to get this thing repaired, and a 1-year warranty to just straight up replace the battery if you have any kind of issues. If you're looking to build any kind of a big system, I like these double-wided batteries, right? They're just 2 batteries put together, easily manageable, less connectors, wires, all of that is expensive. So that's why I really do like these double-wide batteries. And they only come in about 48 to 51 pounds, so they're very manageable, especially with these somewhat pretty good high-quality handles that it comes with. I like it overall. It's just very super easy to manage. Here's the thing. With this battery, it comes with an over-temperature sensor that allows it to cut everything off to make sure, again, you're not going to be putting yourself or the battery into danger. One thing it doesn't have, though, is a low temperature sensor. So if you did want to use this for any kind of application, like let's say you put it in a shed outside in an environment, it might get too cold, this doesn't have any way to protect itself from low temperatures. So that is one downside. I should note that they sell fancier versions that has warmers and some other features, but this is just the basic idea. And I mentioned the BMS that came with this thing. Like it is really sturdy. It does really well at protecting it from sending too much current to it. Going over 100 amps, for example, let me do it for a little bit, then it shut down. Charging it over 50 for a little bit, it let me do it, but then it shut down. The BMS is super responsive and I haven't had any issues. And even when I did a very long charge at the highest amps that it would let me sustain, it did not get super hot. So I think just overall internally, it's built really well. But again, Will Prowse, DIY Solar, look him up. He will cut this thing in half and he will show you everything that you want to know about the internals. The only thing that I don't like, and again, this is just, you know, you have a setup that works, a design, so you mass produce them, throw a different label on them, you have them. The biggest difference is like internally, the batteries that they use. This one doesn't say anything about grade A batteries, so it's probably grade B. If they had grade A, they would flaunt it. I don't know, so I'm just gonna assume they don't. But you get something like the SOK batteries, they're like metal frame, so a little bit more fire protectant. Also, they have serviceable screws, so you can go through there and you can take it apart without actually having to destroy all the glue just to see what's inside. So that's a downside, but honestly, again, I don't like to take apart batteries, so it's not really a big deal for me. But from what I can tell, like example, Will Prowse again, when he's comparing different build qualities, BMS qualities, the way the design, aside from the whole no low temperature sensor in there, this is pretty comparable to the SOK battery, which he feels like is one of the better batteries out there. That's the one with the metal case, by the way. So then it all comes down to price. If you're building out a system, how much does the dang thing cost? Well, price is already fluctuating, but right now it's $699. Which is almost exactly comparable to most of the batteries on the market. With exception, some batteries are $599, most batteries are $649, but most of them right now is about $700. That's for 24 volts or 25.6 at 100 amp hours. And I can vouch from personal experience that you don't have to buy all the batteries at once. You can add as you go, as long as you build the basic foundation in order to add batteries as you go, a support structure, so to speak, that you don't have to buy them all at once, like building a server with hard drives, with Unraid. You don't have to have all the investment all up front, but whenever you have the opportunity, a sale comes up, etc., you can go through and you can add to your home battery backup system. Or in my particular case, it's basically just a big UPS backup battery system that I run just on my server. Now, even though this whole design shares a lot of design aspects from other batteries, I don't know what this little cutout is. I briefly tried to take it apart just to see if it was easy, but it didn't really want to come apart easily, so I didn't mess with it. So, you know, that's a little bit different, but still, overall, the battery design is pretty close to most of the batteries that are in this similar range. So if you're looking to build out your battery system, whether it's a UPS, home backup, whatever you want to do, look for a few things. Look up the reviews, specifically Will Prowse. Like, let them tear it apart. Let them take a look at the BMS running it. Does it have high temp, low temp? Are those required for what you want to use it for? What's the price? Are they within your budget range? Like, these are all the kind of things that you need to look at if you're looking at batteries like this to build your own DIY home battery backup system. Me personally, so far, just based off reviews I've seen, I've used this thing for a while. Me personally, if I were to go out, want to expand my battery system, there would be two brands that I would opt into purchasing and spending my own money on. The second one is the Chins. The first one is SOK. I like the way it's constructed, the metal case, the screws, all that other stuff. I like that aspect, but Chins, from what I've seen online, has proven to be basically right up there in terms of quality, BMS build, etc. Just no low temp sensor. But it's all in my basement, so I don't actually care. And really, there's just not that much else I can say about a battery like this, especially because it has no major features besides what's inside. It has the BMS. So far, it's a good quality and everything that you can tell from online. But what else do you say with the battery? Does it fit your budget? Does it have the sensors that are going to be something that you may or may not need? And perhaps the most important factor out of everything that I have not said yet, is it the right color? I kind of like orange. So guys, if you want to check this out, I will leave some links in the description down below. I do have one more battery that I want to check out, do some draw, like actually test on, you know, what the BMS can handle, when it'll shut off, charging, discharging, etc. So look out for that. I'm gonna go ahead and knock both of those out pretty quick. But I do definitely recommend looking for something in the price range. And if they're all pretty similar in price range, read the reviews. See what the BMS looks like. Check out Will Prowse. Let him break it down. Let him see what kind of quality they put into the BMS. And even if they use a quality BMS, did they actually wire it correctly? Are all the terminals inside connected safely? These are the things that you need to look at when you purchase a battery like this. If you can save yourself $50 and set your house on fire, is it really worth it? So buy a good battery, read some reviews, watch somebody take it apart, and make sure that you are safe. Of course, Chin sent this over to me for review for free, but it's definitely not going to change what I feel or what I say about this battery. I just believe that the name behind it, the internals I've seen from, you know, tearing down the BMS and stuff like that, it's a really great battery with the only flaw of not having the low temperature sensor. So that's about it. Check out the links in the description. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and have yourself a great day.